Sepang is back. Yep, the Malaysian government is set to announce that the Malaysian Grand Prix at the Sepang circuit is officially going to return to the calendar in 2026.
Even though it will still be called the Bahrain Grand Prix and funded by Bahrain, it will be held in Malaysia.
Well, Sepang has been on the calendar before and was one of F1's most iconic races from 1999 to 2017.
There's a reason it's one of the best tracks in the world, and there's a reason F1 fans all over the world love the Malaysia race.
Have a race in Malaysia, Sepang would be so cool. Sepang was actually my favourite track as a kid when I used to play it.
Ooh, Sepang is back.
And for Malaysians, just think about this. We can now once again see Kimi Antonelli and George Russell while munching down on a bungkus nasi lemak. We can see Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc while enjoying an ikat tepi of limau ice or syrup bandung under the heat. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see Max Verstappen trying durian once again, but this time in the durian homeland.
Dari puluh-puluh negara yang dia cari, akhirnya dia pilih Malaysia sebenarnya buat Bahrain untuk F1.
Kalau dari gue pribadi, gue sangat-sangat senang dan sangat berterima kasih juga sama pemerintahnya Malaysia yang udah ngebawa lagi F1.
Halo teman-teman, selamat datang kembali di channel Ria Oktorina. Kali ini ada berita yang cukup mengejutkan dan jadi perhatian banyak pengamat luar negara. Bahrain dikabarkan memilih Malaysia, khususnya Sirkuit Sepang sebagai lokasi penyelenggaraan Formula One. Yang membuat banyak orang penasaran, dari sekian banyak pilihan sirkuit di Asia, kenapa justru Sepang yang dipilih? Ternyata, salah satu alasannya karena Sepang masih mengantongi sertifikasi FIA Grade 1, yaitu standar tertinggi yang wajib dimiliki untuk menggelar balapan Formula One. Walaupun terakhir kali menjadi tuan rumah pada tahun 2017, fasilitas, sistem keselamatan, dan infrastruktur Sepang masih memenuhi standar internasional. Karena itulah banyak pengamat luar negara dibuat syok. Mereka menilai Malaysia punya kesiapan yang jarang dimiliki banyak negara, dan Sepang dianggap sebagai sirkuit yang benar-benar siap digunakan kapan saja.
It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Malaysia is going to be hosting a Formula One race. After 3,290 days, Sepang, one of the only races in the world where you can arrive wearing sunglasses and leave needing an umbrella, is going to welcome back the pinnacle of motorsport, Formula One. Petronas will finally get its home Grand Prix again. And for Malaysians, just think about this. We can now once again see Kimi Antonelli and George Russell while munching down on a bungkus nasi lemak. We can see Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc while enjoying an ikat tepi of limau ice or syrup bandung under the heat. And maybe, just maybe, we'll see Max Verstappen trying durian once again, but this time in the durian homeland. Anyone says, oh, but the Singapore race could be better than the Malaysia race. Just put the fries in the bag, bro, because you're just wrong. Sepang, with its wide circuit, its long straights, plenty of overtaking opportunities. There's a reason it's one of the best tracks in the world, and there's a reason F1 fans all over the world love the Malaysia race. So Malaysians, grab your team jerseys, bring your umbrellas in case of the rain, and pack up your lunch and bring it to Sepang, because F1 is coming back to Malaysia. Let's go.
Sepang is back. Yep, the Malaysian government is set to announce that the Malaysian Grand Prix at the Sepang circuit is officially going to return to the calendar in 2026 as a replacement for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Earlier in the year, it was announced that the Bahrain Grand Prix and Saudi Arabian Grand Prix were being cancelled from this season. But there was hope for Bahrain to return. However, that is now not looking very likely, and we're also likely to see the Qatar and Abu Dhabi Grand Prix also be cancelled from 2026. The race at Sepang is likely to take place at the beginning of October, more specifically on the 4th of October between the Azerbaijan and Singapore Grand Prix. This would create a triple header, but having the race here does make sense as Singapore and Malaysia are right next to each other, so geographically it does make a lot of sense. The most successful driver at the history at Sepang is Sebastian Vettel, who has won the race 4 different times, and the final race winner at the Malaysian Grand Prix at Sepang was Max Verstappen, who won in 2017 for Red Bull. With the race returning to the calendar, the question is, are you excited to see it back? Let me know and follow for more.
The Malaysian Grand Prix has officially been announced to replace Bahrain. It's going to be held in October 2nd to 4th, and it's still going to be the Bahrain Grand Prix, but just in Malaysia. So happy I booked accommodation last night before the official announcement because the prices of accommodation and everything else is going to go up so much. But I'm so excited, and now I just have to get tickets. Wish me luck.
F1 is going to race in Malaysia and may even have another surprise addition to the calendar at the end of the season. That's right, F1 is set to confirm that despite cancelling the race in April, we will get a Bahrain Grand Prix this season, just not in Bahrain. The Sepang circuit in Malaysia will host a one-off Formula 1 event between the Azerbaijan and Singapore Grand Prix weekends on October 4, meaning even though it will still be called the Bahrain Grand Prix and funded by Bahrain, it will be held in Malaysia. However, that doesn't answer the question over what happens at the end of the season with Qatar and Abu Dhabi, where a surprise alternative has been put forward. If Qatar and Abu Dhabi can't happen, we thought we may see a race in Portugal 1 year earlier than scheduled, but that deal seems to have fallen apart, leading to Imola stepping in and offering itself to F1 as somewhere they could host the season finale. That would mean racing in Italy in December, which could be very cold and likely very wet, but it could also mean seeing an Italian driver or maybe even an Italian team win the championship in front of a home crowd.
We're getting a Malaysian Grand Prix in the year 2026. F1 had 2 races cancelled earlier this year due to a war in the Middle East, and they have been looking for something to replace them. That replacement is coming in the form of a Malaysian Grand Prix. Now, the official announcement is not out yet. It is going to be coming out tomorrow at some point in time, but ESPN did just release their article saying Malaysia is coming back, which means not only are we going to be getting another round in this F1 season, but we are going to be going back to a really incredible track. The Malaysian Grand Prix was around from 1999 to 2017, so it basically saw F1 evolve into the sport that it is today. This track is so very beloved in Formula 1 and is hopefully going to provide some really great racing. The really interesting part of it is not many drivers on this grid have raced here though. Starting with Max and the older generation, yeah, they have raced here. But Charles, the 2019 rookies, everyone forwards from that, this is going to be a brand new track to them. It's kind of going to be like having 8 rookies on a racetrack. Who knows? I'm hoping the racing there is chaotic. I'm hoping it's incredible, and I'm just so excited that we are returning to this track.
It is the F1 summer break. So for every Sunday that we don't have a race, I'm going to tell you an F1 track that should be on the calendar instead. Deal? This weekend's track, the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. Why? I'm so glad you asked. Number 1, well, Sepang has been on the calendar before and was one of F1's most iconic races from 1999 to 2017. The circuit starts slow, but then it opens up into these fast and flowing corners. The brutal heat, the sudden rainstorms, that keeps strategists on their toes, people, and shook up strategy and tyre choices. It's also extremely wide, okay? She's very large and she's very in charge. The circuit is 20 meters at its widest, which creates, altogether now, overtaking opportunities. We love them. And we have seen some iconic moments at the circuit. Remember those Hamilton-Vettel battles? Kimi Räikkönen's first win, Sebastian Vettel's first win at Ferrari. So all in all, the racing product was absolutely fantastic. Number 2. This might just be an incredible business opportunity for Formula 1. And I will now be a businesswoman to present this extremely important presentation of business. Now, listen, one of the main reasons that F1 took Malaysia off the F1 calendar initially in 2017 was A, the very high hosting fees, and B, they did see a slight drop in attendance. Now, my calculations do show that that's not what we wanted. However, my calculations also show that F1 has grown so meteorically. Yeah, I learned that at business school. In the last few years, especially in Asia. Let's take a case study. The case study being the attendance at the Singapore Grand Prix. In 2016, the Singapore Grand Prix saw a total attendance of 216,000 fans. And in 2024, so 8 years later, it saw an increased attendance of 269,000 fans. So if we're taking the same logic, plus the growth of the sport in the last 5 years, could the same growth and attendance be applied to the Malaysian Grand Prix? And number 3, I believe we should have this race back on the calendar so that I can have a true home race and we can all eat Malaysian food together. For this, I would propose a laksa stand and a nasi lemak stand. I do hear so often people saying that they want the Malaysian Grand Prix to come back. Currently, MotoGP does race there. So, my question to you is, will it ever come back? And bonus question, what track would you want to see me talk about next?
Have a race in Malaysia, Sepang would be so cool. Sepang was actually my favourite track as a kid when I used to play it on the F1 game, and I've never driven there, but I feel like I know it really well because I drove it so often, so that would be really cool. And obviously home of Petronas as well, so yeah, that'd be awesome.
Ooh, Sepang is back.
Have you ever driven?
So that's actually proper Petronas home race.
Correct.
So
Petronas home race is back.
that's cool. I mean, also is a really cool track, Sepang. So I think it's gonna be sick.
Have you driven it virtually?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. You've never driven it in real life?
No. So I think it's gonna be a really cool one.
The Formula One Bahrain Grand Prix in Malaysia? Yes, you got it right. Sepang will host the Formula One Gulf Air Bahrain Grand Prix. At first glance, it might sound strange, but Formula One thinks like a business. And it has just protected one of its most valuable assets, the calendar. Behind every race weekend sits a much bigger commercial ecosystem. Broadcasters, sponsors, promoters, hospitality programs, brand activations, and a highly complex logistic operation. Every Grand Prix supports months of planning and commercial commitments. Cancelling a race doesn't just leave a gap in the calendar. It disrupts sponsorship agreements, marketing campaigns, customer events, hospitality programs, content production, and commercial commitments that have already been planned and sold. That's why Formula One has to find a solution, as the geopolitical situation shows little sign of improving. The event keeps its commercial identity as the Bahrain Grand Prix, while Sepang provides a world-class venue capable of hosting it at short notice. The race will move, but the commercial value won't. That's how you protect a multi-billion-dollar business. Who will be the next to step in? By the way, both Formula One and MotoGP will take place at Sepang in October. What a treat for motorsport fans there.
I just realized how long it's been since Formula One last raced in Malaysia. 9 years ago in 2017. So what was even going on in Formula One back then? Well, Max Verstappen won the 2017 Malaysian Grand Prix on his 20th birthday. Nico Rosberg was the Formula One world champion at that point, but he wasn't even racing anymore because he retired. Sebastian Vettel was still racing for Ferrari, and he is still the most successful driver on track there with 4 wins. And Alonso, who was racing at McLaren, was right behind Vettel at 3 wins. Carlos Sainz was racing too, but in a Toro Rosso. And some of today's grid wasn't even in Formula 1 yet. Lando Norris and George Russell were in Formula 3, Leclerc was winning in Formula 2, and Antonelli was 11, still racing go-karts. 9 years, that's how long Malaysia has been waiting. And make sure to drop a follow for more Formula 1 content like this.
F1 is back to Malaysia, and here are the 3 reasons why it's being called the most legendary circuit on the F1 history. This is where the modern F1 track started. It's the very first circuit Herman Tilke ever designed. They spent 14 months, 286 millions and thousands of workers just to build it on a swampland near Putrajaya. It worked so well that it became the template every Tilke circuit after Shanghai, Abu Dhabi, Istanbul, and Bahrain. It's also designed to overtake. Sepang has 2 straights with a hairpin joining them and a total of 15 corners. In some of the sections, the track is 20 meters wide, meaning the cars can actually fight for the corner. This is where strategy and bravery actually matters. The weather here in Malaysia is insane. The track temperature can go up to 50 degrees. Then suddenly the monsoon decides to show up and floods the entire circuit. This makes Sepang one of the most physically brutal races on the F1 calendar. With all the chaos going on, you can't even predict what's going to happen next. It's been gone since 2017. We didn't realize how much the fans miss it until there was a real chance it's coming back. Follow me for more sharing like this, and I'll see you in the next video.
Selain kualitas sirkuitnya, ada alasan lain kenapa Bahrain akhirnya menjatuhkan pilihan kepada Malaysia. Letak sirkuit dinilai sangat strategis karena berada di kawasan Asia Tenggara dengan akses transportasi yang lengkap dan pengalaman panjang dalam menyelenggarakan ajang balap dunia. Sepang juga dikenal sebagai salah satu sirkuit terbaik di dunia. Namanya sering disejajarkan dengan lintasan legendaris seperti Silverstone di Inggris dan Monza di Italia. Pengakuan ini bukan cuma soal sejarah, tapi juga karena desain lintasannya yang menantang, fasilitas kelas dunia, dan standar keselamatan yang sangat tinggi. Banyak pengamat melihat keputusan Bahrain ini sebagai langkah yang sangat logis. Dibanding harus mempersiapkan sirkuit lain dari awal, memilih Sepang jauh lebih efisien. Semua kebutuhan utama untuk menggelar Formula One sudah tersedia, jadi proses persiapannya bisa dilakukan lebih cepat. Tidak heran kalau keputusan ini membuat banyak pihak terkejut. Malaysia kembali membuktikan bahwa Sepang masih menjadi salah satu aset motorsport terbaik di kawasan Asia.
Dari puluh-puluh negara yang dicari, akhirnya dipilih Malaysia sebenarnya buat Bahrain F1. Jangan bimbang, Prime Minister. Yang kita dah bayar 100 juta itu, kita tak payah tuntut dah. Itu memang sumbangan kita kepada Malaysia.
Sah dan confirm, Formula One kembali ke Malaysia selepas 9 tahun. Guys, selepas 9 tahun, Formula One akhirnya kembali ke litar antarabangsa Sepang. Cuma bezanya kali ni, Malaysia bukan menganjurkan Grand Prix Malaysia macam dulu. Tetapi kita sebenarnya jadi tuan rumah Grand Prix Bahrain yang mana dia ditangguhkan akibat konflik berpanjangan dekat Asia Barat. Kalau ikut pengumuman F1 dan FIA, perlumbaan tu actually dijadual berlangsung pada 2 hingga 4 Oktober 2026. Ini di antara GP Azerbaijan dan juga GP Singapura. Maksudnya Sepang ni kembali berada dalam kalender rasmi Formula One buat kali pertama sejak kali terakhir menganjurkan perlumbaan tu pada tahun 2017. Kita tahulah kan, sebelum ni untuk menganjurkan Formula One ni kos dia sangat tinggi. Kali ni macam mana pula? Untuk perlombaan kali ni dia kekal gunakan nama Formula One Gulf Air Bahrain Grand Prix. Dan laporan daripada media antarabangsa menyatakan yang Bahrain akan tanggung sebahagian besar kos penjadualan semula dan juga hak penganjuran. Manakala perjanjian dibuat bersama Kerajaan Malaysia, Kerajaan Bahrain, Formula One dan juga FIA. Kalau korang ingat pada 2025, kerajaan ada inform lah yang yuran hak penganjuran F1 sekarang ni dianggap mencecah kira-kira 300 juta ringgit satu tahun. Itu belum lagi termasuk kos operasi tempatan macam keselamatan, logistik, marketing dan juga penyelenggaraan litar Sepang yang dianggarkan sekitar 10 juta ringgit setahun untuk kekalkan pensijilan FIA Grade 1. Bahrain sebenarnya dia orang nak anjurkan perlombaan tu, akan tetapi macam kita tahulah keadaan keselamatan dekat Asia Barat ni dia belum cukup stabil lagi. Grand Prix Bahrain yang sepatutnya berlangsung pada April dibatalkan disebabkan susulan konflik serantau. Apabila Formula One cuba menjadualkannya balik pada bulan Oktober, risiko keselamatan kepada pemandu, pasukan dan juga logistik masih lagi dianggap tinggi. Jadi macam mana guys? Korang nak join tak F1 kali ni? Komen dekat bawah. Jom meriahkan penganjuran ni dekat Malaysia.
It's lights out and away we go in Sepang, Malaysia. Bungkus langsung jadi. Baru juga gue naikin tadi kontennya, udah langsung confirm aja. Gak bilang-bilang nih Bin Sulayem sama aku. Oke, berarti sudah dipastikan F1 akan race di Sepang bulan Oktober ini, tanggal 2 sampai tanggal 4 Oktober 2026. Tepatnya, Sepang ini akan menjadi host venue untuk Bahrain Grand Prix. Dan penamaan Grand Prix-nya sendiri adalah Formula One Gulf Air Bahrain Grand Prix in Malaysia. Selisihnya cuma seminggu sama Singapore GP. Jadi habis dari Baku, langsung ke Sepang, dan langsung ke Singapura. Makanya kemarin pas gue iseng-iseng cek di tanggal 2 sampai 4 Oktober hotel di Sepang kayak apa. Pada penuh loh. Kayaknya mungkin pada udah tahu nih emang beneran jadi. Tiketnya beli di mana Mbak? Nanya gitu kan. Belum. Bahkan di rilisnya tadi udah ditulis pengumuman untuk penjualan tiket akan segera diinfokan lebih lanjut. Jadi ditunggu, sabar.
Ternyata bukan hoax guys, udah fix 100% kalau Malaysia itu bakal nge-host Formula One race pada tanggal 2 sampai 4 Oktober. Coba ngaku dulu siapa yang udah nungguin announcement-nya dari tadi siang. Jujur gue gak nyangka banget kalau ternyata ini beneran, padahal dari gue sendiri tuh kayaknya udah nge-expect pasti bukan tahun ini deh, mungkin tahun 2027. Ternyata tahun ini dan dia sebelum Singapore Grand Prix. Nah, perlu kalian ketahui guys, kalau F1 di Malaysia ini namanya tuh bukan F1 Malaysia Grand Prix, tapi tetap F1 Bahrain Grand Prix. Kalau kalian ingat, Bahrain itu kan diadain di awal tahun 2026. Di cancel, dan ternyata pemerintah Bahrain ini tetap mau mengadakan race dan mereka itu minjem sirkuit Malaysia dan mereka yang mensupport race-nya untuk di Malaysia ini. Kalau dari gue pribadi, gue sangat-sangat senang dan sangat berterima kasih juga sama pemerintahnya Malaysia yang udah ngebawa lagi F1. Mungkin ada beberapa yang dari kalian udah nonton Singapura dan bosen terus pengen ada opsi lain, cuman beberapa race di Asia tuh masih cukup jauh, kayak di Jepang kan lumayan jauh tuh. Terus yang sangat bersyukurnya juga di Malaysia ini sebetulnya lebih affordable, kayak hotelnya, akomodasi dan lainnya tuh masih lebih make sense ketimbang di Singapura. Nah, kalau kalian yang pengen nyari barengan buat nonton di sana, boleh aja komen di bawah ini, tuhin aja video code dengan cari barengan, atau kalau misalkan kalian ada mau rekomendasi tentang hotel, transportasi dan lainnya, silahkan aja. Let's help each other. Dan by the way, sebelumnya juga aku ada bikin video, beberapa juga yang komen untuk rekomendasi, silahkan dicek aja ya. Aku berdoa semoga yang mau nonton di Malaysia dilancarkan semuanya. Dari aku dengan senang hati menyambut F1 Bahrain Grand Prix at Sepang. So I guess I'll see you guys in Sepang. Thank you so much guys for watching. Bye-bye!
Breaking news, ini dia pengumuman yang ditunggu-tunggu sama semua fans F1. Sepang is back guys. Nanti di tanggal 2 sampai 4 Oktober ya, di antara Azerbaijan dan Singapura untuk menggantikan Bahrain Grand Prix ya. Tapi namanya Formula One Gulf Air Bahrain Grand Prix in Malaysia guys. Jadi memang rumornya kan katanya dibiayain sama Bahrain. Terus minjem sirkuit lah istilahnya gitu di Malaysia. Dan menurut gue sih ini win-win solution ya. Bahrain tetap ada namanya, apalagi juga buat Malaysia. Ini win-win solution karena ekonominya, hotel sekitar segala macam pasti naik teman-teman ya. Jadi menurut kita ini pemerintah Malaysia good job ya. Setelah 9 tahun akhirnya balik lagi ke Malaysia, walaupun belum pakai nama Malaysia, tapi ada namanya loh, Bahrain Grand Prix in Malaysia. Itu menurut aku udah the best ya.
Ya, mungkin Malaysianya minta juga kali, nggak mungkin bikin di Malaysia namanya Bahrain doang.
Iya, nggak mungkin kayak Bahrain Grand Prix tapi orang tahu itu di Malaysia gitu. Jadi in Malaysia ini kayaknya baru ya. Kasus kayak gini tuh namanya negara lain ngadainnya di negara lain juga gitu ya. Tapi ini sebuah kemenangan untuk teman-teman yang mungkin tinggal di Asia Tenggara ya. Kita lihat apakah kita bisa mendapatkan tiket Bahrain Grand Prix in Malaysia. Coba komen teman-teman, mungkin ada yang dari Malaysia boleh rekomendasiin hotel atau mungkin bagusnya di Sepang itu di grandstand yang mana. Kita belum pernah ke sana, coba bisa langsung komen di sini ya guys ya. Selamat war tiket teman-teman.
Kembalinya Formula One ke Sepang tentu membawa dampak besar bagi Malaysia. Kehadiran ribuan penggemar balap dari berbagai negara diperkirakan akan menggerakkan sektor pelanconan, mulai dari hotel, transportasi, restoran, sampai berbagai usaha di sekitar kawasan Sepang. Banyak analis menilai keputusan Bahrain ini bukan cuma menguntungkan dunia balap, tapi juga menjadi peluang besar bagi ekonomi Malaysia. Dengan pengalaman yang sudah dimiliki selama bertahun-tahun, Malaysia dinilai mampu menyelenggarakan ajang internasional dengan standar yang sangat tinggi. Yang paling menarik, keputusan ini semakin memperkuat citra Sepang sebagai sirkuit yang selalu siap ketika dibutuhkan. Saat banyak negara masih memerlukan berbagai penyesuaian, Malaysia sudah memiliki lintasan berstandar Formula One yang siap digunakan. Karena itulah, banyak pengamat luar negara dibuat syok. Mereka melihat bahwa alasan Bahrain memilih Malaysia bukan sekedar faktor lokasi, tetapi karena Sepang memang memiliki kualitas, pengalaman, dan kesiapan yang sudah diakui di tingkat dunia. Kini perhatian dunia kembali tertuju kepada Malaysia sebagai salah satu pusat motorsport terbesar di kawasan Asia.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of